Hey guys, let's talk about this week's episode of The Good Wife. And we pretty much picked up right where we left off with the mid-season finale. And that is with Marilyn revealing that she wanted to name her baby Peter. And of course, Eli spits out the glass of wine that he was just drinking when he hears this. And he quickly jumps to the conclusion that she's talking about Peter Florrick. And, he's freaking out and he needs to get to the bottom of this and find out who Marilyn's baby daddy is. And so he pretty much spends the entire episode trying to figure out who the father is. And he enlists Kalinda. And while Kalinda is on this hunt to find out who the father is, it leads her to finding out that a videotape from a hotel had been taken away one night when Peter was there. And so, of course, this makes Eli very concerned that this could come up to haunt him somewhere down the line. And by the end of the episode, we find out that a reporter wants a comment from Eli, and it is regarding the tampering of the election. So there was a thread that was brought up last season to whether or not there was tampering during this election, and it was dropped because they ruled against the case. But now there's video footage of somebody, 2 people, 3 people, carrying what looks like a voter's box out of a van and into a hotel or a building. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes moving forwards. We all know that Peter is on this whole ethical committee, route. And, he doesn't want to be seen as doing anything unethical. So this is obviously going to put a wrench into his campaign to becoming possibly a running candidate for, governor, which then could potentially lead him to become president one day. So Eli is going to have a lot on his plate moving forwards once we get to the bottom of all of this. And when he finally does find out who Marilyn's baby daddy is, he could care less because he just gets dropped with this huge bomb. It's quite funny to see. And Eli plays the scene perfectly. The other stuff that was going on in this episode was with, of course, Alicia / Carrie / Will. And they were on another case, which of course Will put himself on just so that he could hopefully take the win away from Carrie Agos and Alicia Florrick, because that's basically what he does every day now, is he figures out how he can torment and torture Alicia. And of course they had some really great banter going back and forth, and we got some really great flashback scenes between the two of them, with them undressing one another and of course having some hot and steamy sex. Now, one of the things, of course, that this show does really well is it only shows us like very small glimpses into the relationship that Will and Alicia had with one another. And we're really starting to see them play out more now than we ever saw them play out when they were actually in the relationship. So I'm finding that very interesting, the way that they are giving us these tidbits of the relationship that they had. And of course, they start showing us this very hot and sexy scene of the first time the two of them had sex. And the funny part is that the reason why we start seeing these scenes is because basically Will is taunting Alicia. Anytime she's in court, he knows that a way to throw her off her rhythm when she's cross-examining somebody is to continually object to everything that she's saying. And this throws her off. And so she starts getting really upset about it. And Carrie says to her, like, listen, you're letting him win if you're letting him get you flustered. You're letting him win if you let Will get to you. And she's like, you're right. So she quickly goes home and she changes into this cream suit, which looks really good on her, by the way. And it's the very same suit that she wore the night that they had sex the first time. And so when she comes into the courtroom and Will's busy cross-examining the witness, she sits down and she crosses her legs, and of course his skirt is kind of short, and he kind of glimpses down, and it throws him off because this obviously reminds him of the first time that they had sex. So he starts having these flashes, which then throws him off of his game, which was awesome. So you're seeing the two of them just like constantly just one-upping each other, just trying to prove that one of them is not going to break. They're not going to get to the other. and they're both basically just going to try to destroy each other. And, you know, it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of awesome at the same time because, you know, we're seeing this new Alicia, which I like. She's not like this demure, you know, quiet, you know, still tough lawyer, but now she's like this cutthroat lawyer, and she's not letting anything get in her way, which I love. And of course, you know, Will, being that he's so gung-ho on trying to take over the world right now, he wants to start a new office in, I believe, LA. So they just started a new law firm in, I think, New York, and now he's trying to start one in LA. And, you know, Diane is not pleased with this because she just thinks that he is going too fast, too quickly, too hard, and this is going to cause problems for them. And so she's trying to shut him down by like not voting with him, and it's causing obviously tension within their own law firm. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. You know, Will is obviously on a mission right now. He wants to take over the world, which is fine, but he's starting to upset the people that he's working with, and we'll see what happens with all that. Again, it was a really good episode. I'm really enjoying it. Again, for me, one of the flaws and one of the things that I'm just not liking in this show is how they're writing Kalinda. I mean, they're just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think that they are putting any kind of real thought into how they're writing her. She's just like this sexual character who's hooking up with this girl, who's, you know, flirting with that guy, and it shows. And, you know, they rarely have her working on cases, and if they do, they're just kind of like not really that important. So they really do need to fix Kalinda more than anything else on this show right now. But outside of that, another great episode, and I can't wait to see what happens this week. All right, guys, that's been my review of Revenge of The Good Wife, and I will see you next week. Bye.